for all stopping through. Definitely. Another good week, man, as the Steelers got some guys in the building going to freaking work, dude. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is the time of year when voluntary workouts are going on and things of that nature. Players don't got to be there, but they're there and they're diving in and they're getting going. And this is the time to be excited. We can stop with all the bullshit. We can stop with all the hypotheticals. We can stop talking about players that aren't on the team. If you're on board, you're on board. They come on board, they come on board. All those things. We can start talking about actually the nuts and bolts of football and what this squad needs to do in order to be successful. And I got to say something. I like what I'm starting to see already because I just like the way this roster is starting to come together. I like the players that are on it. I like the way that the players that are on it are outspoken about their love for the game, their love for the team, their want to, their fire, their desire. It just seems like a group of solid guys coming together, and you got to like that, man. And people can say, oh, you don't know that yet or whatever. You can start to feel this shit. You can start to see it. You hear comments from players. You see players they draft. You can watch those players. You can start to see the type of player they're bringing into the building, man. And that's got to get you fired up. They're trying to be the Steelers, the Steelers again. And I love that. And it's all built from the trenches, and you can start to see the big guys being important in that building again. The emphasis on the big guys being number one on the list, and you gotta love that too. And you gotta love the fire of Omar Khan and Mike Tomlin and Andy Weidel bringing guys in that can help, that are immediate impact players. We've been talking about the draft and all that, and we were on several shows, and you heard guys on these shows when we were talking all weekend and all week here, and we were talking about players coming in. And when we were over, this was one real good point that stuck out with me all weekend, and it was something that I heard on Sunday, and that was when I was over on Steelers Almighty, and this has really stuck and resonated with me. Big G over there said, we're looking for players that are producers, that are producing, and that's what the Steelers are bringing in. And that's what I like, production. And that's what I see from this front office staff and from coaches' staff, that they're bringing players in that are producing, that have produced. That production is the key. They want guys that have done it at the high level on the college level. They want guys that have done it at a high level in the NFL level. They want producers. They want guys that bring action. And that is just rang with me, man. And I think that's the theme of this team. And I think that's the theme of this organization, period. Bringing guys in that want to produce, that want to play, that love the game, that just are completely 1,000% immersed in the football. And that's the thing that's ringing true and popping out to me with the 2025 Pittsburgh Steelers. And I may be corny, I may be whatever, but that's the reality of what I'm seeing, guys. That's what I'm looking at. And when you have that going on around your football team early in the summer, well, about to be the summer, early, that is such a promising sign, man. And I think we're going to continue to see that theme. We're going to continue to see this football team develop. And again, when you put emphasis on the trenches, you put emphasis into the big guys, and the big guys become the most important part of your franchise. That's when you start to become winners. That's when you start to be back in that conversation of legit AFC conference contenders. That's when you start to feel that again. Again, guys, I think that we've lost that over the years. I don't think that we were in the mix to get guys like that truly mattered and truly valued those players anymore. It seemed like we weren't putting the puzzle pieces together anymore. We were just grabbing here and there, reaching here and there, trying to just scrape together some players to finish out Ben Roethlisberger's career. And then we are just trying to band-aid situations if you're the Steelers. They were trying to band-aid things to just get through and just remain somewhat competitive, to get through some of the things that they've had to get through. But they've persevered, and they've come back into the fold of caring about the guys that, God, they got to be the key of your franchise. They got to be the heart and soul of your franchise, man. And I don't know why I've been thinking about this stuff. It's just that's what's been weighing on me, man. Production, guys that can produce, guys that have done it. And that goes for every draft pick in this draft, man. Well, I don't know much about Carson Bruner, and that's something I need to dive into a little bit more. I've been doing dives in on Jack Sawyer, Y.A. Black, and all those guys. So Carson Bruner's the guy, and Dante Kent, I need to do a little bit more research on both of those guys, and a little bit more on the undrafted free agent rookies. But, again, guys, most of these guys that they've brought in are diehard guys that have produced at a high level. The running back, he's set records. He's a guy that scored 23 touchdowns, a guy that was sixth in touchdowns with 21 on the ground. A guy that just runs like an absolute man possessed at times, a guy that can play the finesse game, a guy that can play the power game, all those things, a guy that's just a complete player that can produce, a guy in the first round like Derek Harmon that's done nothing but produce anywhere he's been. He's dealt now with some life adversity, losing his mother, which is, I know, very, very tough and very, very painful, but I believe that that's going to be motivation for him to move forward and be even better and better for a guy that's already been damn good. You look at Will Howard, a guy that was taken in the 6th round that is absolutely, in my eyes, a guy that's being absolutely shit on and overlooked. Is this guy somebody that you thought to yourself is going to be a number 1 draft pick, instant Hall of Fame type guy, a slam dunk guy who's going to come in and be a franchise quarterback? No, we didn't. I didn't value him as that, but I did value him a lot higher than everybody else is. The story of the draft, Shedeur Sanders falling. What about the guy that was the national championship game MVP? What about the guy that got nothing but better and better and better at every place he'd been, every stop he made, always got better in the biggest moments? A guy that got into the national champion Ohio State Buckeyes in the playoffs and played lights out. What about that guy being underrated? What about that guy falling in the draft? Are we just overlooking this? Does that just not matter anymore? I'm asking, it drives you bonkers. But every guy is a guy that can contribute. Every guy is somebody out there that's going to go crazy and just immerse themselves in football. So that's where I'm really at with this theme. And then you see these guys already doing voluntary workouts. Guys like DK Metcalf, guys like Calvin Austin. You see Broderick Jones in there working his ass off already in some of the pictures. Do yourself a favor, go on Steelers.com and look at those pictures of phase 1 of the workouts. Go look at those. You see Mason Rudolph already in the building. You see these guys that are already there, ready to go to work, dude. Ready to get that chemistry amongst each other. You see Zach Frazier. You see these guys that are already entrenched starters, Joey Porter Jr. You see these guys that don't have to be there, but they are there. And they could be anywhere in the country. Guys, these are wealthy men. They could be on vacation somewhere doing their damn thing. They don't care. They don't have to do any of this shit. But guess where they're at? They're at Rooney Sports Complex on the south side of Pittsburgh. They're there busting their ass. They're there in masses, and they are training, and they are working together. And you as a fan have to be absolutely ecstatic over this. You have to be pumped about this. These are things that a lot of fans are going to overlook. And again, we're done talking about the people that aren't on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster. If you're not a Steeler, you ain't with us, you're against us, and we don't care. It is what it is. And that's got to be your mentality now. All right, let's get to the chat. Miss Pittsburgh in the chat. Wave that terrible towel for Miss P. She is in the building. Yes, like and subscribe and share the show if you please. I'd appreciate it. Definitely something that you could do to help us out. Liking and sharing and all that good shit. We truly appreciate it. Again, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Super chats are always available. Get your comment instantly read. And also, memberships, 99 cents a month. Always will be 99 cents a month. Always available to you to get. Make sure you have your gifts turned on in case anybody ever donates any. Austin Gosel, what's up, man? I'm doing well. He will. He will, Austin. I really, truly believe that. My Floyd is Pink 79. What's up, Jason? I really hope Rodgers signs and we have Will Howard sit behind him for a year and maybe our future. What do you think? I wouldn't be opposed to it. Rodgers gets you 10 wins, but you know what? You have Mason Rudolph, and he's going to get you 10 wins too. And guys, we all have to quit overlooking Mason Rudolph. He's a damn good quarterback who's there on the south side of Pittsburgh right now, and he cares enough about the fan base. He cares enough about his career. He cares enough about the Pittsburgh Steelers franchise that he is there right now working his ass off each and every day with the likes of DK Metcalf, Calvin Austin, not to mention Skylar Thompson's down there. Those guys are in the building. Those guys are working. Would I love to have Aaron Rodgers? Sure, cool, man. I'm down for it. My Floyd is Pink. It would not be bad for me. I would not be pissed about it. But those guys can't be overlooked any longer. They're putting the work in, and they're putting the dedication into this franchise that it deserves. They are there putting this effort in now, and that will pay dividends late in the summer. That will pay dividends early September when we're taking the field in Acrisure Stadium. Those things matter, and those guys are there doing it right now, man. And guys, I want you to be very, very, very clear on this. If Mason Rudolph is your starter week 1, do not panic. Do not worry. You will have a 10-win season. Mason Rudolph can't put up numbers. Mason Rudolph is a guy that can play really, really well, and Will Howard can learn a tremendous amount from Mason Rudolph, not only on the football field, but by a man of high character, a man of high faith, a man that's loved by his teammates, a man that is there doing the work and showing you the work ethic. And a man that has done it in the NFL, he's done it, so Will could learn from him. But I'm not going to discount Will Howard either. A guy that has won a national championship, a guy that has done nothing but win everywhere he goes, a guy that won a Big Ten championship, I believe, at Kansas State, a guy that literally did nothing in the playoffs but beat people's ass. And yeah, he played with NFL talent. If I hear this thing one more time, I might lose my gourd because it makes zero sense. It just when people say it, they sound dumb. When they say, well, he played with NFL talent at Ohio State. Well, no shit, he's playing with NFL talent now. Okay, great, good. He played with NFL talent. Find the man for playing on a team that was good in the ultimate team game. This isn't all about Mason Rudolph. This isn't about Aaron Rodgers. This isn't about Will Howard. It's about the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what it's about. And yes, you got to have a quarterback to win, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers got a damn good one in Mason Rudolph. And they may have drafted the steal of the 2025 NFL draft by the time this is all said and done in young Will Howard. We never know. These picks are gambles. So this is an exciting time of the year to be a Steelers fan. This is an exciting time of the year to be an NFL football fan, period. Because right now is the time that you get to be excited, that everything has hope to it because these are all gambles. Nothing should be negative, you know? And again, yes, Aaron's probably going to be a Steeler. I can almost guarantee you that. But again, I would not be pissed if Mason Rudolph was my week 1 starter, and Will Howard could learn a tremendous amount. Guys, Will Howard will probably start the season as the number 3, regardless of who's in the building. That's probably what it'll be unless he really goes up to Latrobe and he lights Mike Tomlin's hair on fire by his play. That would be the only way he's probably the number 2. But chances are, as a 6th-round pick, he's probably going to be sitting as the 3rd quarterback, which is okay. Learn, baby, learn. That's all. That's what this is about. Soaking things into your mind, man. And what we talked about yesterday. When you don't know what the hell you're doing, you're not going to be on the roster. You're not going to be on the field. And what Will Howard needs to do right now, what every player on the Pittsburgh Steelers roster needs to do right now that is in that building, they need to be immersing themselves into the schematics. You heard Arthur Smith even say that they didn't run everything that they could have. He did not run the offense the way he wanted to run it. He tailored it to some of the things that they were comfortable with already in the city of Pittsburgh. He tailored it to some of the play styles that some of the players had. He wanted to do some other things, but he wasn't able to do everything that he wanted to do. But right now that you're going to have another complete offseason, now that you're going to have some different players, some different personnel, some players that may necessarily not have been in the city of Pittsburgh during some of the older regimes of offensive coordinators. So now you start to do the Arthur Smith thing, but you got to know the offense. And Roman Wilson, a guy I firmly believe wasn't just sitting out because of injury. Actually, I know he wasn't just sitting out because of injury. That wasn't the only thing. When he was healthy, they couldn't get him on the damn field, guys, because he didn't know what he was doing. They weren't comfortable with putting him out there into action because he didn't know what he was doing. And right now, if you're Roman Wilson, you take advantage of being around guys like DK Metcalf and you immerse yourself into this culture and into that playbook. Guys, these guys that are young right now, the best advice anybody could ever give them on this football team, and the only person that can execute this is that player. Any individual player is immersing yourself into the scheme, understanding the playbook, knowing what to do when you get your opportunity. That's how you don't let your opportunity pass you by. And that's the biggest thing, guys. And this is great what you're seeing right now in phase one. Players are there. Yes, they're working out, but guarantee you, man, they're getting the opportunity to look inside of the schematics and they need to immerse themselves into that. What's up, TD? Mike Miller, what's up? 40th birthday tomorrow's. Hey, Mike Miller, happy birthday, man. Happy early birthday, man. Wave that terrible towel for Miss Pittsburgh. Extra black. Why so many had faith in Kenny Pickett, but have no faith in a QB that won a Big 12 championship and then won the BCS championship this year? Yeah, he did win the Big 10 championship. I agree. I agree with you, Extra Black. I think there should be more faith in him. No doubt about it. I mean, my thing with Kenny Pickett is I knew what he was. But when he got onto the Steelers, I just wanted to speak it into existence. That's what I was really trying to do. We all knew his deficiencies. I pointed them out to everybody then, and I had hoped that he would get rid of those deficiencies. But those deficiencies didn't rid themselves. He constantly rolled to his left. He constantly put the offensive line in a compromising situation. He wasn't able to make the throws that he needed to make on a consistent basis. He wasn't able to be as consistent with his anticipation and all of those things. They weren't comfortable in allowing him to run the offense as a guy that they wanted to be their franchise quarterback. So none of that's neither here nor there. He's not on the team anymore. But again, they should have some more faith in the guy that's won the MVP of the national championship game, that's played quarterback at the highest level with the collegiate level, at the highest collegiate level. Again, and production. That's the biggest thing to take away from this offseason, guys. Take away that every player seems to be a player that's a production guy. And they're not going out there and drafting on a whim anymore. They're not going out there and drafting on anticipation and potential. They're going out there and drafting players that have been brought into the building because they have produced. They have shown production. They have been guys that have been highly successful at the level prior to coming into the NFL. And that is what's special. Or they go out and get DK Metcalf. They go out and get Darius Slay. They go out and get Eccles. They go out and get guys that are proven commodities that can also play and have done it at the NFL level. Rock Taylor's my favorite undrafted free agent. Guys, what's the thing with Rock Taylor, though? I'm going to tell you something about Rock Taylor. Typical type receiver. And the big concerns and why Rock Taylor fell off the draft board, Extra Black brought him up there. The reason he fell off the draft board is because of character concerns. And that's why he fell out of the draft, whether it was right or wrong, whatever. You've dealt with character problems, character issues. before as the Steelers and every other franchise, but that's why he fell out of the draft. It wasn't because of talent. This guy's ultra talented and can make plays. But the thing is he going to be able to keep his mouth shut and do the things that he needs to do in order to be successful? And I think with Mike Tomlin, he can. If one thing Mike Tomlin can do, and that is corral some of these players that, aren't necessarily of highest character. Yeah, he can't control everything, but all in all, Mike Tomlin does control those guys pretty well and keep them under wraps a little bit. I mean, he did it with Antonio Brown for years. These guys are going to have some outbursts here and there, and Mike Tomlin can't control every little piece of it, but he does fairly well with that. So that's one thing I have to give Mike Tomlin credit for. Another Wombat. I'm not sure how I feel about the roster. I like the draft, but the team is largely unchanged. Minus Metcalf, no proven quarterback. There's a lot of potential. Going to be interesting to see how this shakes out. I think they've changed vastly. They've brought in many guys on the defensive front. There's going to be about 11 guys there. Another Wombat battling for those, 6 positions on the defensive front. They've drafted well, like you said, in my opinion. They've drafted well over the last several seasons, in my opinion. The last 3 drafts have been fairly good. So that's a change. That's a potential shake-up of the roster, no doubt about it. They brought in DK Metcalf. They brought in Darius Slay. They just signed Robert Wood. They brought back Mason Rudolph. They've done a lot of things. I don't think this roster looks exactly the same as it did last year. And you look at that wide receiver room when Extra Black brought it up. Rock Taylor, a guy that's an undrafted free agent. There's going to be a lot of guys competing for spots at the wide receiver. And that's going to be promising. That's going to breed a whole new dynamic into this football team, another Wombat, that they didn't have last year. They were just scraping up guys to fill the room. Now, they have an abundance of guys that have ultra talent, man, that are highly, highly athletic that can play the wide receiver room or wide receiver position at a high level. So that's different. They've brought in some other guys that can play tight end. They brought some guys in, in the linebacking room. They brought guys in all over, if you really ask me. Did they have a crazy free agency period? No, but they did bring in some additions. This roster does look different. They've let some people go. So, we'll see. We'll see exactly. But again, I feel like that there is a lot of potential. I feel like the quarterback room is highly underrated. I believe it's a bigger issue for many other people than actually the Pittsburgh Steelers. They knew they weren't going out there and drafting anybody in round 1. We people that, at least most people that talk about this every day in terms of guys that bring content to you, I warned you that they probably weren't going to do it. I mean, there was a chance. There's always a chance because you never know what's going to happen. But again, we knew that there was no real draft prospect in round 1 that made sense. So again, they got their guy late, but that guy got a lot of talent behind him and a lot of accolades. So again, I think that this roster has changed, and I think it's different. Is it dramatically different? No, but it's pretty damn different. And they added pieces that are going to be immediate contributors. DK Metcalf, immediate contributor. Darius Slay, immediate contributor. Austin Eccles, immediate contributor. Y.A. Black, my favorite pick right now after I keep going over it. It's changed to Y.A. Black because, man, is he a monster, dude. He's going to be an immediate impact player. Derek Harmon, immediate impact player. Again, they got guys that can produce, guys that have a lot of production behind them. Lindsay, what's up, man? I'm shocked you have power. We got hit hard. Pittsburgh, still no electricity. Oh, well, stay safe out there, Lindsay. We got power. We didn't get hit by no storm today, man. Stay safe out there, man. Armand in the house. Armand, Big 12. Okay, I didn't know what Kansas State was in, man. Thank you, though. Big 12. Okay. I knew it was one of those. Guys, I don't watch a ton of college football. I watch a ton of college football whenever it comes draft time, but I don't watch a ton of college football because I don't find it as entertaining as the NFL, but that's my personal preference. Steel Nation in the house, Gunja King B. Shout out to Mike Drop. Keep doing your thing. Go Steelers. All right, guys, make sure if you want your comment instantly read, please, you could do a super chat if you want it instantly read. Those are always available. I do that for people that Put those in. I give you your instant comment read. But when the chat's busy, I can't read everyone, so I can shout you out a little bit, but I'm going to try to get through as many comments as I can. What's up, Donald Loudenback, Extra Black? Why would we want to see Mason start over Will Howard? I prefer Will to start the season. I really don't want Aaron Rodgers, just in my opinion. Because Mason's tried and true, and you're going to start the veteran. That's just probably what you're going to do unless Will goes up there and just wows you. That's just the way it works. You want Will to be able to be comfortable, and you want to do everything you can as a franchise to do so. And plus, Mason Rudolph is a damn good quarterback that a lot of people discount and act like he doesn't exist. That's the thing. But Mason Rudolph's just fine. Pittsburgh 412, what's up? Grasshopper, what's up? Rob Lightfoot, offensive tackle is going to bite us in the ass. They'll create depth there. I think Broderick Jones is working his ass off. I think that'll be good, but you're right, it could with injuries. But we'll see how that goes, man. We'll see how the depth looks before I say that it'll bite us in the ass officially. But I can see what you're saying, Rob, no doubt about it. I would have loved to seen a pick there during the draft. That was really the only thing that I didn't like. Doug P., I think next year we can start back to just getting back to best player available. I think they did that this year, Doug. They did that in the first 2 rounds or the first 2 picks. They went best player available. You don't do best player available every pick. But the first couple rounds, the first few rounds, it's best player available. It has to be. And then you fill out your needs and you draft people more off position because the pool becomes more equal and even. That's what I mean. Best player available, though, has to be a round 1-2 thing. And then you start to nitpick for your positional groups. That's my opinion on how to do a good draft. Mark Collins, I pray to God they get rid of Peterson. Yeah, I don't know what the freak they're waiting for, guys. All right, guys, make sure you're double tapping that screen. What you do when you double tap that screen, you hit it, double tap it, that'll say hit the like button. Some of you may have 3 little white dots up in the right-hand corner of your screen. Hit that. That brings the like box down. And then all the traditional ways to hit like. But it's absolutely free. We're always chasing at least 100 likes. We try to get 100 likes. It's absolutely free, guys. Go ahead and do that. And I'm going to try to get back into the chat and read as many as I can. Mark Malone, what's up? Joe Vlogs Black was my steal of the draft for Pittsburgh. Mark Collins, if Rodgers, where are we at? If Rodgers doesn't sign or Cousins trade, we need to start Rudolph. Give Howard time to develop a little. Again, a Cousins trade is a catastrophic failure, guys. That takes a great offseason and crumples it into a ball, and you can throw it into the trash can for what you're going to have to give the Atlanta Falcons for Kirk Cousins. It makes 0 sense. You're going to be risking future draft capital. I can guarantee you that. You're taking on an exuberant amount of money. Kirk Cousins does not make sense, guys. And if anybody really wants him, that's your own personal opinion, and that's great because you're seeing something I'm not. I'm looking at it from every angle. I'm looking at it from what kind of player you're going to get on the field, and does that equate to the financial responsibility, the draft capital responsibility that you're probably going to have to put forth. There's too many variables at play in a Kirk Cousins deal, too many moving parts for it to make sense. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion on Kirk Cousins. What's up, Vitals, Nature, Adventures? What do you think about the Raiders draft besides the obvious with top pick Genty? I think it's boom or bust. I just think the Raiders are a misguided organization that, you know what, when you're just excited, the only time you're excited is draft time. That's when you know your organization has major deficiencies, and hopefully Tom Brady can sort you guys out because for right now, you guys are absolutely just a catastrophe. That's what the Raiders are, in my opinion. You know, it don't matter who you pick when your franchise sucks. And that's not trying to be ignorant or dig at the fans of the Raiders. But when you have a shitty franchise that's ran very shitty, that's just what it is. You know, you don't really get high hopes because even if you do get one good season out of 10, you know, it really doesn't matter, you know, because you're not going to make it anywhere in the playoffs. You're not making any progress. You're not really building. They always make some dumb move that wipes out everything that they do well, wipes that out, everything that they've built. That's what these franchises do that really, really suck and are in perpetual football hell. And that's truth. Rob Lightfoot, we should have signed Dan Moore to a team-friendly deal last year. Our starting offensive line has got potential, but if the tackle goes down, who's coming in for replacement? I see what you say, Rob. I do. I see what you say, man. But I got to wait until I see the official real depth, after all this is went through. Guys, they're going to bring players in and out right now. You're going to see things that, make sense or maybe don't make sense, but they're going to have to bring in depth. So we'll see what happens. And I agree with Rob, and I can see your concerns, no doubt about it. I just got to wait, though, before I really cast a lot of judgment. As it stands right now, yeah, I'd be worried because of an injury. No doubt about that. But I got to see how it all transpires. Lucas Van Dyke, what's up, man? What's up, Colby? Thomas Warrington, what's up? I like it, Thomas. Miss Pittsburgh in the house. Cleveland Grant, man, our D-back's not good. I think that's going to be something, too, that's false. You got Darius Slay. Hopefully Corey Trice finally gets on the football field and remains healthy and stays healthy for a while. You got Eccles. You got Beanie Bishop, who became a starter as an undrafted rookie free agent last year. I think that there's guys that have potential that, could really blossom eventually. Dante Kent's not even a sleeper. Guys, he can play too. We'll see what he can do. But you brought in some players. You have Joey Porter Jr., who's good. And what the biggest thing of this offseason is so far, Cleveland Grant, is this. You've increased the defensive front's potential. You've made to where, again, they're going to have like 11 guys competing for spots, man. So that is going to be a shining part of the Pittsburgh Steelers defense this year. And what does having a good defensive front do for a defense? It cleans up that linebacking room. Why? Because it keeps a little heat off the linebackers. What else does it do? It allows the DBs to actually play defensive back and not have to pick up slack in the run game, not have to come down and play heavy in the box all the time. They can do some more exotic things, but the defenders in the back end can actually be defensive backs and do defensive back type things because they're not always trying to compensate for a weak defensive front. They're not going to constantly be picked apart. Why? Because there might actually be pressure on a consistent basis from up the middle to where quarterbacks just can't step up into the pocket or take off running. They won't have a lot of those things to deal with on a consistent basis. I'm not saying they never happen, but it won't be as consistent as it was in 2024, 2023. They'll actually have a lot of guys that are going to be able to come together and give the Steelers something that makes that whole defense way better. And that is the trenches, man. And that is the biggest thing that has to be a takeaway from this season or this offseason. And one of the biggest things that's being overlooked. We talk about the picks and how much we love them. Well, put some faith into them, guys, because they're going to be really good. And I think that they're going to be able to really make the whole defense better as a whole, because where does it all start? It starts in the trenches, and it starts on that defensive front. Super chat coming in from one of our moderators, TD in the house. If we expected JP, extended JP, what contract will he get? TD's saying Joey Porter Jr., JP, or are you talking GP? TD, put in there if or did you mean GP or Joey Porter? Put in there if you meant which one you meant. Just so I know, so I'm clear. And then I'm going to answer his question. GP, okay, that's what I thought after I read it. Okay, TD wants to know if we extend George Pickens, what kind of contract would you expect? It'd have to be from $25 to $33 million. That's the range that you're looking at per season. In my opinion right now, it would probably be, if you could get him to sign a deal, it would be probably about $27.5 million right now, because that's just the price of elite wide receiver talent, and he is. That's what he is. But again, the Steelers probably aren't. And here's the thing with the Steelers, guys. If George Pickens is willing to play out this year without causing any disruption, which I think that would be in his best interest if he's going to go after a contract in the following year, the Steelers could franchise tag him and he would play for 33, 34 million bucks, 35 million bucks, whatever it is. They could do that and control him for the next 2 seasons. So they could probably get away with paying him, $35 million over 2 seasons with his, I don't know what his contract, I'm just hypothetically saying, I don't know what it exactly is, and keep him for 2 years. I don't know. But if you were to extend him, he's probably going to be looking for a second contract of 4 years, 33 million, 30 million a year is my guesstimate, but I think a fair market value would be about 27 and a half for what his production has been, what the potential is. I think that's just probably what he would get somewhere else around there, 27 and a half, 28 million per season over 4 years, probably half of that fully guaranteed. That's probably a contract that George Pickens would get. But here's the thing that maybe drives some of these wide receivers down a little bit is look at how much talent you can draft in and year out. So maybe that kicks some of those guys out that may have some character issues that teams may shy away from it and say, we're good, man. We'll just draft somebody. We ain't going to pay you that big dollars. And another question I have here is, are we coming into the era of the NFL to where you are able to, now that the salary cap is increased, you're now able to pay for two top shelf wide receivers? And I think another thing that comes into play here, TD, is what if all of a sudden Will Howard plays lights out and all of a sudden Will Howard's that guy and he is your young, fiery rookie starter all of a sudden, potentially, just saying, stay with me here, saying that he's that guy. If you're the Steelers and you have Will Howard on a sixth round pick rookie deal, you can pay George Pickens $27 to $30 million per season for 4 years and keep him with DK Metcalf and potentially have one of the most lethal wide receiver duos in the entire NFL playing with a rookie contract quarterback, and not just any rookie contract quarterback, a guy that is a sixth round pick. So those are all potential things that could happen, man. Legendary Shador. Legendary, love. I love people that change their name on YouTube and act like they're somebody else. Jack says Pickens is trash. You're out of your mind if you think Pickens is trash. Y'all need better quarterback. Come on, Jax. Come on now, buddy. You got to come with something better than that. They got quarterback talent in the building. Mason Rudolph's a winner. He can win with this. Guys, I got to be honest with you. Any middle of the road, any solid to good quarterback that comes in here to the city of Pittsburgh can win with that offense. I'm telling you, Caleb Johnson's an immediate impact guy. The wide receivers on the edges are studs. You got good tight ends. And potentially one of the youngest offensive lines in the NFL with top-ranked talent all over it that could potentially, click and be really good. But again, to answer TD's question, I say 27 to 28. That's the range of GP's realistic market right now per season. And again, I think it'd be wise of him to go play balls out his best year ever. Why? Because he all of a sudden could potentially stay with Mike Tomlin, who he has a very good relationship with, according to many, many people out there around the football team, and be able to stay with the Steelers and make top shelf money. And I know everybody says Steelers won't pay 2 wide receivers. Well, if you ain't paying a fucking quarterback, you can pay fucking 2 wide receivers, my friends. All right, guys. You got to hit that like button for us. Double tap that screen to hit the like button, or do whatever you got to do to hit that like button, however your device is set up. It's absolutely free. If you're not subscribed, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Join us here at Mike Drop Sports each and every day. Super chats are always open here. That gets your comment instantly read. And don't forget to get yourself a Mike Drop Mafia membership. 99 cents a month. Always be 99 cents a month. People that say Mason Rudolph sucks, you don't even know football. You've never watched him play, evidently. You've never watched him play. Even when he was in the days of getting his head beat in by Myles Garrett with a helmet, he was making throws then, my friends, that were absolutely lights out and showing glimpses that he could be really, really good. But guess what? he had an issue. He had happy feet in the pocket. But the next time you got to see him inside of a Pittsburgh Steelers uniform and that he was a major contributor, those happy feet were gone. The confidence was there. The arm strength has always been there. And Mason Rudolph is a ball player. A ball player that can win in many different ways. Many different ways. What's up, Foots Big? Extra Black Steelers have got to address cornerback 2 and stop getting these cornerbacks that are past their prime. In no way can Slay cover these bigger and faster wide receivers in the NFL. I think Slay got a year or two more, Extra Black. I don't think it's much more behind or beyond that. But I can see your concern, and they could have done that too. That was another thing maybe with like the pick of Jack Sawyer. You thought to yourself, maybe they could have got a better cornerback. But again, they didn't, but Slay, I think, got some time. Eccles, a guy they brought in, can play from the inside out. He can play slot. He can play outside. Corey Trice can play the outside if he can stay healthy. You have Joey Porter Jr. You have guys that can contribute. You have some potential, and you brought in some veterans. Guys, people respect Darius Slay. They're not going to just go out there and throw at him like he's a scrub. So we'll see what happens, but I can see the concern from the fan base. Mark Collins, they should look to raid the Browns' defensive backs at cut down time. There's a couple teams that have an overload of cornerbacks. Absolutely, Mark. I think that's a 1,000% great idea, and I think Omar Khan does look for that. But that is an excellent idea. There are a couple teams that are overloaded with talent, but those are the teams that suck usually. So these players that come from these teams are so happy to get the hell out of there. So yeah, man, they'd be fired up to come to a team like the city of Pittsburgh has in the Steelers. Mark Malone, depends on what he does next year. Yeah, GP controls his cards, man. No doubt about it. He controls his fate. And that's a good thing, but yet a bad thing because he can self-destruct, or hopefully he rises to the top and shows everybody what he can be. Rashad Marshall, would you rather Tyler Lockett or Robert Woods? Because I wanted Tyler. Tyler's a little bit older. Robert is too. Both guys past their prime. I love Tyler Lockett and what he did for the Seattle Seahawks, how he worked with DK Metcalf. But when DK came to Pittsburgh, now the DK's here, I'd rather have some other guys around him. I don't want a repeat of what they did in Seattle. I don't want to copy it. I just want to bring some new guys in and surround him with that. I think Robert Woods gives you a lot of things that other wide receivers don't. Again, blocking downfield, he's going to be highly productive in that. He's a real professional, an NFL champion, a guy that's going to be able to make 25, 30 catches a year. And when he makes those catches, they're going to be chain moving catches. They're going to be big catches. He's going to get open on a consistent basis. So I like Robert Woods, and I think Tyler Lockett and Robert Woods right now at this stage of their careers are similar and pretty much a lateral move. So I really don't think it matters 1,000% which one you would have taken. But again, I like Robert Woods. So they got him on a good deal, and they got a good player. So we'll see what happens. Doug P., if you know the game, Glory Boys get the credit, but the games are won and lost in the trenches. Amen. Legendary. Adam Vinnick, percentage Pickens does sign an extension. Minimal, probably 25%, Adam. Footbig, never feed the trolls. Yeah, Mark Malone, we're winning 12 this year. 12 would be nice, man. 12 games would be nice. That'd get you into a nice seed in the playoffs. Donald Loudenback, hey, Jason, do you see any reason the Steelers don't get a Linderbaum at the Ravens released? We'll have to see. I don't know who all's been released or who hasn't been released. And then what you need to look at, Donald, is injuries. Do they have any lingering injuries? So there's a lot of factors involved in that. So I would have to do a little bit more in-depth look at some of these players that, if you mention them, that have been released or plan on getting released. Mark Collins, I don't like Tomlin, but he is a player's coach. He is, and we got to give him credit. Guys, I'm fair with my criticism. I'll criticize you if you do things wrong, But when you do something good, I got to point that out too. And again, Mike Tomlin is excellent with these guys. And a lot of guys trust him. That's the facts of the situation. And again, many people that surround this football team talk about George Pickens and how much he loves Mike Tomlin. That might be the only thing that saves his ass if he wants to sign an extension. But again, I think that has to come into, do you have a young quarterback playing at a high level? Is Mason Rudolph playing at a high level? Is the quarterback room cheap? That's what you got to look at if you're bringing back George Pickens. Mark Collins, I don't like Tom. We did that. Nobody said that he is a championship caliber quarterback, Jax. I'm just saying that you're discounting a guy that I just don't think that you're giving enough credit to. He started over Will Levis, so I guess he outplayed Will Levis. And he played for a shitty team there, man. I'm not going into all that, what happened with Mason last year in Tennessee. It was his first year with the program. Will Levis had been there. He knew the offense. Mason was coming in without knowing any of it. Coming in and being a new guy to the team and still got starts, still went above and beyond, did the things necessary to succeed in most instances. And 90% of the time, I guess a lot of his interceptions, according to Ramon Foster, a guy that intimately covers that football team in Tennessee, a guy that is a all-pro at the NFL level, right guard, I believe. Says that a lot of those were tip balls by the wide receivers that caused those interceptions, and I'll believe Ramon before I believe anybody here in the chat or anybody else about football. That guy's damn good and a Steeler legend. Unreal. Some of these people. Guys, I have learned one valuable thing over the last couple of days, like the race baiters yesterday and that. I've learned I'm not going to answer every comment anymore. I'm going to let some of these go and not even entertain them. Some of the ones, if I want to bring some excitement, maybe I'll read them. But I'm not going to read every comment that's crazy or anything anymore. I'm just going to let it go and roll off my back. Jonathan, Pittsburgh, CA tapped in. Joe Vlogs, Mason Rudolph is our prodigal son. Welcome home. He will be given a chance. We're here, legendary Shador. You're here. I wish that was actually Shador Sanders so we could screenshot all this and say, hey, Shador was on the show. I love Shador. I don't know why people think I hate Shador for some reason. I do love Shador, but I would smack my kid in the mouth if they ended their sentences with legendary and love. I'm just saying. Robert Woods is of the better route runner, good hands, great blocker. Yeah, Robert Woods can block downfield and shit. I like that about him. Mark Donald. The Ravens didn't give Linderbaum his fifth-year option. Sorry. Oh, okay. Well, then he's still on the team then for his fourth year. Extra black. Well, Mason doesn't know this offense either, so hopefully he is bumped to third string, please. Yeah, we'll see. I get it. I get you guys are going to beat Mason up. It's all right. You don't have to like players I like. I don't have to like players you like. And that's the beauty of the show. We can agree to disagree, and we can bring up different points. And, hey, well, that's the whole reason we do this. All right, guys, make sure you are liking the show. Make sure you are either double tapping the screen, hitting the like button the traditional way. Sharing the show is absolutely really important, and liking it is absolutely free and doesn't cost you a red freaking cent. But if you're not subscribed, again, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Hit that subscribe button. Join the community here at Mike Drop Sports. I'm your host, Jason. As always, we're going to continue to dive through the live chat, so make sure you put your comments, questions, and concerns inside of the chat. This is one of the few channels that really, really puts an emphasis on what you guys got to say. But the Pittsburgh Steelers are back in the building, and there are a lot of them there, and they are working, and they are working hard. Do yourself a favor. Go look at the photos from phase 1 of the Steelers offseason workout program, and just look. Guys happy, guys pumped, guys rolling, baby, guys working. And if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan or an NFL fan in general, it's hard not to like to see those guys getting back to work because all the bullshit season's about to be over. All the bullshit talking's about to be over. It's going to be about football. It's going to be about nuts and bolts of the game. It's going to be about the game, not about the headlines. It's going to be about the real shit. The real shit. I think Rudolph kicks ass in Pittsburgh this year. Watch 12 or 13 games. Facts, undefeated. You think about Seahawks draft. I think the Seahawks had a great draft, actually. Really great draft. Yeah, Steelers better not fumble with DK. Browns will gladly take him. No shit, the Browns will gladly take him. They're bringing Deontay Johnson in the building, who's been on like 5 teams in the last year. Vikings Jerome. Well, who's Aaron Rodgers signing with? Guys, honestly, he'll be a Steeler. I mean, that's just, if he plays football, he'll be a Steeler, guys. And the Aaron Rodgers watch here on Mike Drop Sports is over. He either signs or he doesn't. But right now, I'm keyed in on the guy that's going to win, and that's Mason Rudolph. I'm keyed in on the young guy, Will Howard, who's getting dissed for no reason. Again, everybody talked about the slide of Shedeur Sanders, how that was so crazy. But let's face the facts. Will Howard's better than Shedeur Sanders. He won a national championship. He didn't just win a national championship with the Ohio State Buckeyes. He was the MVP of the fucking game. And not only did he do that, he tore everybody up during the playoffs of college football. So the highest level of college athletics, the highest level, the biggest stage of college athletics, that man shined, but yet you're more shocked about Shedeur Sanders sliding than Will Howard being taken in the 6th round. I don't get that. That does not make any damn sense to me. Again, love Shedeur. Think he's going to be a good ball player. I just think he needs to get a little bit mature in some of his things that he does in terms of approach, speaking with people. Also, the way he handled those interviews, he didn't do himself no favors with any NFL teams. They were completely turned off by the bullshit. The ego was far too big, and he's acting like he's his daddy, and he's not his daddy. His daddy was a player that could demand that type of shit, that could be whatever he wanted to be, say whatever he wanted to say, do whatever he wanted to do. Shedeur's not that. Deion Sanders was a generational, once-in-a-lifetime talent at the defensive back position, the cornerback position. Just an amazing athlete, an athlete that you see come around once in a freaking while. That's the type of athlete Deion Sanders was, and Shedeur Sanders is not that guy. Is not that guy, and he can't demand that type of shit because he's not that type of talent. Period, guys. Whether you want to manufacture all the bullshit or not and act like he is, sure, go ahead, do you. But let's talk about the real story of this draft, and that's why was Will Howard selected in round 6? Nobody will ever know. And that's why I just don't think guys sliding in the draft's a huge deal. Here's the biggest thing, guys. We've seen guys succeed from every part of the draft. You don't have to be drafted number 1. You don't got to be drafted in the top 10. You don't got to be drafted in the first 5 rounds. You can succeed from anywhere. What makes a guy succeed or not is whether they come in with their head screwed on straight, they're not getting blinded by the money and the fame, and guys that are going to work their ass off each and every day. Those are the guys that succeed. Those are the only guys that succeed. You know, there's tons of guys that have been taken in round 1 that you don't even know their fucking name, that you couldn't even remember them. Many guys that have been all through the NFL that you don't even remember anymore. But when they were drafted, they were the greatest thing ever. But all of a sudden, you don't remember who the hell they are. It's because they didn't work their ass off. Or maybe something unfortunate happens. They have an injury or something. That may wipe them out. So everybody isn't just a non-worker. There are some other circumstances. But the majority of the guys are guys that are either not hard workers or they're stupid as hell and they can't understand the playbook. And again, everybody wants to know where Roman Wilson was last year. He didn't know what the fuck he was doing. Even when he was healthy, he could have played. He didn't know what he's doing. They couldn't put him on the field. And that's something Roman got to fix this year. But that could happen to a lot of players, and that does happen to a lot of players, guys. And I want you all to remember that. All right, guys, make sure we're bumping those likes up. Get those likes cranking. Come on. Where are we at? Jason, do these haters understand that it was because of Mason that the Steelers even made it to the playoffs? There's a lot of other variables that go into the hate. When people hate on players that are solid and good, there's a lot of other variables that go into it, and that's okay. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Again, we don't have to like the same players. We don't have to evaluate players the same way, and that's okay. Again, everybody is allowed their own opinion. But it is what it is. You know, Mason was a top 5 NFL quarterback statistically through his games the last time he played with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that can't be taken away from him. He was the reason that they were within 7 points late in the game in Buffalo, and that's truth. That's reality. Yes, he had an interception, and that was on him, but the offense as a whole fumbled 3 times during that game, and the defense played like dog shit. But, you know, yet the Steelers were still in that ball game late. Mark Collins, Will Howard is a winner and Western PA kid. DK will be good with the Steelers, but he got to watch his temper. He can cost them a game. Rob Lightfoot, where did you see these Phase 1 photos? Go to Steelers.com, go into photos, and go in. You got to select Phase 1. You're going to have to scroll down. It's a process. They hide them pretty good, guys, because they don't want you to see them. Mark Malone, they don't. No, I'm convinced they don't watch games. Shedeur Sanders, I'll gladly put him over me. I haven't done much recently, but I'm looking to add to my. Quit acting like you're Shedeur Sanders, dude. That is so dumb. You have nothing better to do with your time. You're that bored in life. How about go get a fucking job, bro? When stars align, Will Howard deserves Steelers Nation's respect. He's a baller and truly excellent leader. Armand Prone. Are your reviewers pimping you tonight? Geez, Mason and Howard, good. My concerns are B. Jones and crippled Troy F. If they come through a big, if then 11-6. No, that's always my opinion, Armand. Those have been my opinions the whole time, buddy. Nobody's pimping me. You know Jason, Armand. Jason don't get swayed by nobody. My opinions are my opinions, and I'll give them. And again, nobody has to agree with them, but I know what I see. And I'm not going to sit here and apologize for my opinions either. And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm wrong or I'm just so off. I know ball, and I'm not the best at it, and I don't know everything, and I got a lot to learn. But I know enough ball to see a good football player when I see it. Mark Malone, man, I'm stoked to get we got Howard. Me too. TD 720 because you're a football fan. What's that? What do you think about the Raiders? Raiders suck. Sorry. The Steelers, the only team in the division I respect. That's from Ravens fan 720. Donald Loudenback, 6'4", 240 within a rocket arm with a rocket arm. What's not to like? Yeah, I mean, I don't hate guys that are a Ben Roethlisberger 2.0 build body type. Mark Collins, these Rudolph critics need to go look at his college career facts. He led the nation. Yeah, Mason didn't do anything. Pittsburgh 4-2. What's going on in the chat tonight? Dudes are wild, and look, it's a long 5 months until the season. We all have opinions. Chill, fellas. Brian Shed, think Howard will become starter eventually? I don't know. I hope so. People. All right, guys. Again, hit that like button. We've been on almost an hour here live streaming here on Steel City Live. Again, things are going, man, and it's exciting right now, man. We're almost up to 50 likes. I need 3 more of you to double tap that screen or hit the like button however you need to on your device to get us up there. 3 more of you. It's absolutely free to hit the like button, so go ahead and crack that like button for us here. Foot's big. Steelers only team in the division I respect. What's up, Kodak in the house? Armand Mason, Oklahoma State clips are excellent. I love it, man. Ravens fan 720. I'm excited for us to play this year. Going to be some good games if y'all get A-Rod. It's going to be some good games because Mason Rudolph's beat the Ravens with Lamar Jackson too, I believe. Lamar Jackson, man, what's he beat the Steelers 3 times, 4 times the whole time he's been with the Ravens? I'm just asking. I think they're good games. They're always good games, man. I respect the Ravens, but man, you got a quarterback that can't win a big game. And that's the sad part of it. Rob Lightfoot, I easily found the Phase 1 article, 192 photos with caption. Thanks. Yeah, you got it good, Rob. They kind of put it way down there, man. A lot of people ain't going to find it, though, Rob. A lot of people. If you look on your phone, they're like a bitch to find for some reason. Chook626, what's up? All right, guys, if there's anything else you want to talk about real quick, throw it in there. I'll give it a couple more minutes, and then I'm going to start winding things down. But again, man, another good live stream. A lot of views, a lot of likes. We love it, man. Awesome. Yeah, we need one more on my end. I see. Yeah, there we go. 50. Nice, baby. I like to hit 100 likes. That's the goal every night. But hey, we're a building place, man. We're a building channel. So again, guys, if you're just jumping in, make sure you're double tapping that screen, hitting that like button. Also, there's been a guy that's been going back and forth with me in the comments that wants to come on the show and give his opinion of why the Steelers had a horrible draft. So I'm going to give him a couple minutes to come on. And I'll start to do that for people to give their opinion, but I will warn people. I will kick you off if you're an idiot, if you act stupid, if you're just a dumbass that don't need to be on. I'll just get you out. But I might start doing that, I think, as maybe a reward for some people that would like to come on, like for watching, like, hey, you could come on and give your opinion. I know a lot of shows do phone calls, so I'm trying to think of something different. I wanted to do phone calls, but it hasn't worked out until we switch to the new platform. We're not going to be able to do that. But I want to be able to possibly be able to give people the opportunity to just pop on. I let them come on for a couple minutes. They say their spiel, then they go away, or we can talk back and forth. I think that would be cool. So this person, I keep telling them to email me. They haven't emailed me, so I don't know if they're serious about coming on, but they're talking shit in the chat, so we'll see. Black and Gold, hope all is well. I hope nothing but the best for Ryan Watts with him being out. Will there be another safety that we could bring in? Yeah, they'll bring in more depth, no doubt about it, Black and Gold. I feel bad for him, man. He never even got to play a snap in the NFL in the regular season. Ravens fan 720. Now you're right in the fact that he hasn't won crazy in the playoffs, but he got over his Steeler hump, so playoffs is next. We'll see, man. We'll see. Optimus Prime. I love Steelers, Joey. Steelers, whatever that is. Mark Collins, I hope the Steelers pick up Mike Reed, safety from TCU. He just got cut since we lost Watt to injury. Yeah, they're going to have to pick up some other people, man. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. They got to. Kodak, yeah, please, nobody wants that extra bullshit. Just be a damn fan who likes to voice your opinions, guys. TD, hope you're enjoying. Okay, best video. Yeah, there he is. You got to email me best videos. I was just talking about you. You got to email me. You can't just put things in the comments because I can't put a fucking link to the show in the comments. Do you realize how many people we'd have on here trying to join in? We'd never get a word in because the screen would keep blinking, man. People would be hitting the shit out of that. You got to email me. Mike Drop Sports, all one word, yahoo.com. It's okay. I want to give you the opportunity, and I think you've started something actually that's good because I want to bring people and give people the opportunity. Come on for a few minutes, say their spiel, and if need be, we can get you up out. If not, we'll let you stay for a few minutes and see what it does. We'll try it out. Maybe we'll try it out a couple times. If it don't work, it don't work. But I'm all about changing, trying to figure shit out and have something different. Roberta Campbell, what's up? What's up, Silverback, Omega Prime? All right, guys, I got to rewind this down, man. I had about enough. My voice hurts for tonight. So I was animated tonight. Rob says OC has him a true outside zone running back, and Arthur Smith seems to be really excited about going into his second year. Yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm pumped about it. I think everybody should be excited for this football team. No doubt about it, man. 100. All right, guys, we're going to be getting up out of here. What's up, Zossi, man? All right, guys, we're out of here. This is Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports in the show Steel City live. Appreciate you guys for showing some love and support. Great amount of interaction tonight from you guys. So thank you very, very much. So until tomorrow, I'm Jason. This is Mike Drop Sports. Peace, my friends.